Where we are, please.
Well, we're in Mary Newman's cottage, and it's there's been something here since about 1280 when the Normans laid out the town. And I personally like to think the front wall is the original Norman one, because why on earth would you pull what is the local building material down just to build another wall? And the Normans put it right on the street.
It's very interesting here. What's this over here, like this white object?
This is a sugar loaf. This is a very posh object by the time you're in Elizabethan times. Sugar's coming in from the Indies, and up until then we've only had honey or sweet cicely or other herbs to flavour and sweeten food. But it's incredibly expensive.
Really expensive.
So you don't use it unless you're trying to show off. Or unless you're incredibly wealthy and you don't mind.
Now over here we've got a fireplace, haven't we?
We have.
And there's something rather special about these
chimney irons,
and
yes.
They still seem to sort of work almost.
Well, they definitely still work if you had a pot and you had a fire.
So there was a fire here. How would they set the fire every day?
I think probably not, because it would take so long to get the fire going. I think you would what we used to call, when I was a child, damp down the fire with slack coal and various things to keep it in.
The fire then?
They use a flint and a steel.
What's that there then?
Well, this is a steel.
Because it's made of steel.
Because it is made of steel, and bizarrely, the flint is so hard that it is actually taking off tiny little shards of steel rather than the stone. So, and I can't do this.
No, that's fine. I understand.
But that's what they did. And if I lived in those days, I'd never let my fire go out because I'd never light it again. So
I believe over here there's a witch bottle, isn't there?
Yes, there are. There are two.
Look at that one.
So there are two witch bottles. They were behind a loose stone. And I think they're just basically insurance policies. You haven't got real insurance. You don't know why people are getting ill or bad things are happening. So a wise woman would sell you this, and you would put it in your house for protection.
So it keeps away evil spirits.
Yes, because they don't understand about germs and various things like that. And I would have done that if that was what would keep my family safe.
I believe there's some carpenter's marks.
Yes, there are one or two.
We'll see one. There we are, look. Is that one up there, look?
Yes. It looks like the beams were actually maybe made somewhere else, possibly, and then maybe numbered and then brought in so that they could put them in.
So what do you think the atmosphere would have been like here when this was in its heyday? This would have been a busy place.
This room would have had the lady of the house, because in Tudor and Elizabethan times, the lady of the house really had a lot of work to do. She was in a house like this, which we would call a middle-class house. We've got paved floors. These floors have been paved since about 1480, which these are the originals.
This is the original flooring.
These are the original floors. So you're not on a beaten earth floor. You're really quite well off. So, but not fabulously wealthy either. So she would have had maybe her daughters helping her, and a maid certainly she would have had, who might very well have just slept on a small bed here.
Now, what is this for, please?
Well, that is a board that you would have put your trencher on. So you would have
a trencher.
A trencher is a loaf.
Okay.
And
is that one of them there, by the way?
Well, it sort of is. It looked like that. It tended to be round. You then left it for at least 3 days to go stale.
Why would you let it go stale?
Because you want it to be a plate or a bowl. So you literally then cut it through the middle, and hence why the name, the Normans, it's a Norman name, meaning translate to cut or to slice.
Right.
You open it up, so you've got two. You either pile your food on top of it, a bit like a pizza, but you're not putting it back in the oven. Or you take out the crumb and turn it into a stew or a soup bowl.
Fascinating.
And then, but I think they must have leaked, because at some stage people then put flat boards underneath them and also called them trenchers. So
you said there was something interesting here about the pots here, the fact how the lids worked.
Ah, yes. Well, apparently in Elizabethan times, nobody had thought of putting a recess for putting a lid on, and indeed they didn't have lids, so they would just put they would have one bowl without a recess and put another bowl on top.
Wow.
But then at some stage, a very clever potter either found from another culture or invented it himself to make a recess. And we have been benefiting from that ever since.
Thank you so much.